Hi guys. Hi guys, how are you all?
Good.
1 second number. 1 second. What is this? I'm not finding.
Yeah.
1 second, guys. Hmm. I'm in class. Hi guys, how are you?
Good.
Okay, how was last week's homework?
I have some questions on it.
Oh, we did the cubic functions, right? Oh, okay. Can I go to the homework? What are they doing? What have they started doing in school, Arya?
We haven't been in school for the last 2 days, but the last thing was I think the same thing from the textbook. They just like took things from the textbook and then put it as our homework.
What is your homework now? On what topic?
It's like cubic, like graph and cubic functions.
Oh, that's good. Okay, that's what we are also working, right? Okay, I'm going to bring up the homework, but before that, let me see something. I've also posted the answers so that you're not waiting on me. I did see only 4 of you did, right? Where are the others?
I had, I had some questions, so I wanted to ask this class.
1 second. Krish, you did not do.
I did it, but I forgot to submit it.
Okay, Parvini, you did not do. Parvini, you did not do the homework.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's important, Ma. Otherwise, it's very difficult to catch up as well, right?
Hmm.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead. You have to let me know the page number, Ma. Can you go ahead? Let me know the page number. Who had questions? Dwani, did you have questions?
No.
Sitara, did you have no questions at all, Ma Dwani?
No, it was pretty easy for the most part because we also did it in school, so it's just basic review.
Oh, it was very easy. Okay. Arya, really nice, Arya. See, you showing up the corrections really helps me to understand too. But were you able to write equations, Arya? That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you were able to write equations as well, right, Dwani?
Yeah, they taught us in school too, and our homework was like probably the same page as we did in the book, so that also helped.
Pranav, yours was also good. But are you checking with the answer key, Pranav? Pranav? Pranav, you didn't do?
No, I didn't have time. I had a debate tournament this weekend.
How about you, Sitara? Are you checking with key?
Yeah, I checked it with the answer key.
Okay, Dhwani?
I checked a few pages in the beginning, like I think the first 4 pages with the answer key.
Ma, it is
That
best to check it ma fully.
yeah, then I didn't get a chance. I turned it in before checking all of it. But
Okay.
I'll check it all next time.
Yeah, that's what that only builds accountability.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back. Okay. I can share, but let me know the page numbers, guys. I can do it on the board. Shragvi, did you do?
Yeah, I did. I just didn't submit all the pages.
Shragvi?
Yeah, I did it. I just didn't submit all the pages.
Okay, I have some questions. I had questions on 320 page number. Okay. Page number 320. Yeah. Page number 320. What is the question you have?
It was
Go ahead, ma'am.
someone's building a rectangular raised flower bed. The boards on the two shorter sides are 6 inches thick, and the boards on the two longer sides are 4 inches thick. It was that one.
I don't see that question. 320.
Yeah.
I don't see that question at all. What book are you using? Do you have the ISBN number? Arya, what is on page number 320, Arya?
I don't have my textbook with me. I can check though.
Julio wants to purchase a spherical aquarium. Was that the question?
No, it's a different one. And, one second.
Anirudh, I really need the proper page number. Do you have the correct ISBN number of the book?
Yeah, it's 320. It's a lesson performance task.
320, there is no lesson performance task on the book I have given in the welcome email. So it seems so different. You're going to wait at the end of the class, okay? Any other questions? Who has the book with you now? Do you have the book with you? Okay. Anybody who has a book with you? No, not yet. Okay. Parvini, do you have the books? Have you bought it, ma?
I haven't bought it yet. Auntie, do you want me to buy volume 1 or volume 2?
Volume 2, right, ma? Now.
Okay.
Miss Priya, this week's homework was from volume 1, right?
This week's homework was?
It was from volume 1. Right?
Till what? Ma, actually, see, honestly, maybe I'm incorrect. But till what page number is volume 1, Madhwani?
I'm not too sure. I don't have it with me right now. I can go get it.
Then Adav, it is not volume 1, volume 2, right, Adav?
I don't have any of the books, so I'm gonna get them and I'll submit them next week.
Wow. Okay. Okay, good to know.
Oh, Miss
Okay,
Priya.
yeah, go ahead.
Volume 1 goes to 450.
Thank you. 450. Okay, good to know. I see the book that I have is all one and the same. One single book has everything for me. So the copy that I have may be very different from what you guys have. Whatever I've suggested in the welcome email is what you need to buy. Okay, how about
Miss Priya, volume 1 ends at like page 447 or something around that.
thank you, Pranav and Dhwani. Now let's go ahead and write an equation for a cubic graph. Anirudh, you're going to wait till end of class or send a picture to me. I'll do it on the board. So here, x minus h the whole cube plus k. I really want an equation to be written in this format. I want somebody to explain. This cubic graph passes through the point minus 1 comma 2 minus 2 comma 1.5. This cubic graph passes through these points. how to solve this. I would like one of you to explain too. We did not do this last week. It's just a problem that I have given.
Miss Priya, can I try?
Yeah, sure.
First, you
Let me
take the
draw.
vertex, right?
Let
Which
me
is
draw the graph.
negative
Yes, yes.
1.
Let me draw the graph. A simple graph I'll draw for the cubic equation. These three are the reference points given. Yes, ma, go ahead.
So first you'd figure out the vertex and put it as h and k.
Yep, h equal to -1, k equal to 2. Now go ahead.
And then you would find the vertical transformation because it says you have to find a.
Uh-huh.
And so vertically it was,
Can I substitute?
yeah.
Good. Let's see. Wait. Let's substitute. Meaning people are doing it for the first time, ma. So let's go ahead. This is step number 1. Identify h comma k, which is the second reference point. We found it. General equation, I want it in the format, right? So let me write down the equation. I have found out h and k, correct? I'll substitute that. And for x and y points, I have other points, 0, 2.5 I can use. 0, 2.5. I need to find out my vertical. Go ahead, Dhwani. Go ahead, Dhwani. I'm also substituting for h and k. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Dhwani.
so you would first just, 0 minus 0.1 is negative 0.1, so you would cube that.
Mhm.
And then you would subtract 2 to the other side and then divide by whatever cubed value you have, and then you'd get the value of a.
So a will be equal to,
0.5.
good, a will be equal to 0.5. Correct. Next, I'm going to bring back my equation. Substitute value of y and x should be there in my equation. A is 0.5, x minus h. So it becomes +1 the whole cube plus 2. This is my equation of the cubic function. Do you have any questions? Next time I'm going to give you 3 points and ask you to plot. Do you have any questions? Any questions, anybody?
No.
You're just finding the center reference point, which is h comma k. You're going to substitute in our original equation. Whatever be the format they want the cubic equation to be, you're going to substitute in it. You have several xy points, right? Either you can use that or this, you'll get the same. You already used this, so you don't use the same point. Either use this or this. Use x and y, find out a or b, whichever is they have asked. This is the format I wanted. Sometimes they might ask you to do it in the format horizontal compression or dilation like this. In this case, you have to find out B, and after finding out B, you're going to plug in B or A, H and K into your final equation. So let's try one more. I would like you to get a cubic equation in this format this time. The points are points the cubic graph passes through are 1.5, 0, 2, -1, 2.5, -2, 2.5, -2. Can I get the equation? I would like to see nice equations. Let's see. I would like to have the equation in this format. All of you, you can try, guys. After this, I'm going to move on. Go ahead. If we can do it, I'll move on. I would like to go to polynomial graphing today. Further to that, six and eight as well. It's not covered, is what we discussed last week, right? Guys, please help me. Module 8 is not covered, right? Arya, Dhwani, Pranav, Adav at
We
school.
are going to cover it like 6 and 8. The school like grouped it together.
Yeah, I got it. Meaning they have not yet covered, right?
Yeah, not
Perfect, perfect. Okay, go ahead. Oh, good job, Pranav K. Good job, Krish. You guys are good with this, I feel.
It's Priya.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, please. You just put a message and go. Go ahead.
Okay.
Vani, is that right, ma? Something feels wrong on the A factor, ma.
I can check it again.
Yeah. The cube is missing, but even then, it's okay. It might be a typo, but your A value.
Oh, yeah. It was supposed to be negative.
True, but that's not the right A value still.
It's not? Okay, I'll check.
Check, yeah. So H comma K you can identify. Guys, I'm waiting for all your answers. Adav, can I get your answer? 2. I'm going to write down in for what format do I need the equation. Now I'm going to plug in values. So I need to find B, right? X value, I can go in 1.5 comma 0. 1.5 comma 0. 0 is in here. K equal to minus 1. I just substituted minus 0.5. 1 by B 0.5. It's minus 0.5, right? So there is a negative value. Minus 0.5 the whole cube equal to 0. This is as well 1.5 cube. So basically what happens?
Don't you have to add the 1?
What, ma?
Don't you have to add the 1 to the other side?
True. This one goes to the other side. Now I will isolate the variable to one side. That becomes 1 by B. See, this one is 1 by B, the whole cube, because cube is applied to this. Apply to this. Arya, you're also getting the same thing. Okay, maybe it's a problem with the book. Let me see. Guys. Let's solve it. How did you get the H and K values? Anirudh, good question. How did I get the H and K values? I'll show you. H and K is the middle reference point. When you plot this in a coordinate plane, right? 1.5 comma 0. 1.5 comma 0 is in here. 2 comma minus 1. 2 comma minus 1 is in here. 2.5 comma minus 2 is in here. The middle reference point is H comma K. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you're asking. Now let's solve this, guys. 1 by B the whole cube, right? So there is a minus. Let me take the B cube to the other side. Okay. Minus 1 cube is 1 cube only. Then 0.5, the whole cube will be equal to B cube. Correct? Now split the minus 1, meaning, see, the thing about this is, so you're going to take cube root on both sides because I need to remove that, right? Remove the B cube. So B will be equal to what? Minus 0.5, right, guys? I'm getting 0.5. How did you guys get a 2? Wait. Did I make a mistake? Wait. I'm checking. Yeah, I'm getting a minus 0.5, right? Arya, Dhwani, how did you get 8? Meaning, I'm out of curiosity, I'm checking.
I mean, I just solved for B by
Yeah,
using.
B, I'm getting as minus 0.5. Arya, do you want to check?
Yeah, I'm redoing it right now to see if like I made.
Yeah. Meaning, see, even I'm not sure. The book says minus 0.5 only, but maybe
Miss
Dhwani is.
Priya,
Yeah, go ahead.
you got negative 0.5 as B, and the equation is saying 1 over B, so it's 1 over negative 0.5, so it's negative 2.
-2 is okay, ma, but the problem is I've got an answer. You guys took it out, huh? Oh, no. Okay, I know what is the problem. Okay. No, I got the answer as -8. That is what I'm worried. -1/8 and -8. Krish, good thought though. See here, meaning when we substitute, yes, it becomes -2. X minus h is 2, right? The whole square minus 1, the whole cube, right? So here, guys, the whole cube applies to the entire thing. See, the thing about this is, please make sure you're writing in this format only. Don't take the 8 out. If you take the 8 out, it's not in the 1 by b format, meaning horizontal dilation format. It should keep up, meaning that should come inside the parenthesis and then cubed. If they ask you in this format, you have to write it in this format. Am I making sense, Dhwani and Arya? Arya, I understand what you have done. You've taken this out, right? But the format is not the same, you see?
Oh,
You got it, huh?
yeah.
Meaning, just be careful. Whatever format they're asking, you have to keep up. The whole thing is squared here, is cubed here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all. Okay. Yeah. Shragvi, I'm not getting. Parvini, did you get it?
I was kind of confused on the part, but I kind of understood it now.
Okay, you understood it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I move on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. One more, I feel like giving very frankly. Let's see. Stick on to the format that is asked, okay? So the format asked is g of x equal to 1 by b x minus h the whole cube plus k, okay? So the points are -5, comma -4, -2, comma -3, 1, comma -2. Can we try? We want the cubic equation in this format. See which is coming in the middle of the 3 points. Blindly don't put the middle. You have to plot it and see what comes in the middle. With this, we'll move on. We'll go ahead with polynomial graphing. It's an interesting topic. Is it too easy for now? Oh, that's right. Yes, Pranav.
Miss Priya,
Yeah,
after, could you please explain it to me?
sure.
Okay.
Krish, that seems right. Where are you missing, Ma? You tell me what is that you did not get.
So do I find I find the distance between the 2 points, right? And then
No, right?
plug
Where
it
are we
in.
finding distance? We are just plotting the points, right? -2, comma,
Oh,
-3 is here. -5, comma, -4 is here. 1, comma, -2 is here. So in the 3 points, which is the center? This is the center point, right?
yeah.
That -2, comma, -3 is h, comma, k. So step number 1, h is -2, k is -3. Now, our equation should be in the format 1 by b x minus h the whole cube plus k equal to y. Can you substitute h and k values and x and y can be taken as this?
Yeah. Oh, I
Can you
get it. I was finding like the average between the points.
find b, substitute h, b,
Okay.
h, k in the final equation.
All right.
That's it.
Miss Priya, so sorry.
Yes, Sahil, yes, Pranav.
Miss Priya, sorry, my mom was talking to me. Did you say something to me?
Everything is, Pranav, yours was correct.
No, did you ask me something?
No,
I think you said my name.
perfect. Pranav, I was meaning.
Oh, okay.
Correct. Krish, correct. Arya, correct. Adav as well, correct. But don't forget the cube, Adav. Sahil, correct. Pranav, correct. Dhwani, correct, ma. Parvini, what is B, ma? B equal to 3. Good job. Anirudh. Anirudh, is it not? What is the value for B, Anirudh?
3. That's what I got.
3. The format is 1 by B, right? So you should have put 1 by 3, right?
Oh, okay.
1 by 3 inside means it's a horizontal stretch or compression.
1 by 3 means horizontal stretch.
Yep. So the final answer should have been g of x equal to 1 by 3 x plus 2 the whole cube minus 3. So it's 3 down. Before the 3 down, first you need to say this is horizontal stretch of 3. And then move 2 to the left. And then 3 down. Ragvi, there has to be a parenthesis wrapping the 1 by 3 and before the cube. Do you get it?
Yeah,
This
I forgot to
parenthesis is
put that.
missing.
Yeah, I forgot to put that.
No problem at all. As long as you understand, it's easy.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to go to graphing polynomials, which is quite an important topic. Okay, you will find it easy at school too if we cover this today. Okay, coming to this, right? How about this? F of x equal to x. What is the domain and range of this? What is the domain, range, and end behavior? Can we write out for all the polynomials? F of x equal to x. F of x equal to x square. F of x equal to x cube. F of x equal to x power 4. F of x equal to x power 5. F of x equal to x power 6. Can we try? Shall we go ahead and try? What is the domain and range for this one? First one? Sure, Shragvi. Have your friends come, Shragvi, already?
Not yet, but they're
Oh, then
gonna.
when they come, you go. Why do you want to? That's
Um,
just my suggestion, okay?
Okay.
You don't have to follow that.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. F of x equal to x. What is the domain? Hey guys, it's just a line, right? Go ahead and tell me.
All remember?
Yep. All reals. This one? Okay, why don't we write in terms of interval notation? Minus infinity to infinity, minus infinity to infinity. End behavior as x tends to infinity, y tends to infinity, x tends to minus infinity, y tends to minus infinity. Make sense? Okay. How about y? Emma, please, one by one you can say, right? So I'll know that you're all good with this. F of x equal to x squared. Domain is what?
Oh,
All real numbers.
Yeah. Range is
0. Shit, sorry.
0 to infinity. 0 is included. End behavior as x tends to minus infinity, y tends to infinity. As x tends to infinity, y tends to infinity. Make sense? F of x equal to x cube. Guys, go ahead and say, guys.
All real numbers.
Thanks for practicing, Will.
Okay.
Is good.
Oh, nice.
Can I have?
Go ahead. Minus infinity to infinity. After that,
Also,
range, guys.
also all real numbers.
Yep. Minus infinity to infinity. But the graph is like this, right? So as x tends to infinity, y tends to infinity, x tends to minus infinity, y tends to minus infinity, correct? Okay, x power of 4. X power of 4 will mirror what? X power of 4 will mirror what?
X squared.
Yeah, x square. X power of 6 will mirror?
X power of 4.
Yup. X power of 5 will mirror x cube. Am I making sense? Okay, but how the graphs are going to differ? There are going to be some subtle differences in the graph. Okay, see, the power of x tells you the number of zeros in the polynomial. What does it mean? The power of x tells you the number of zeros in the polynomial. What are the zeros of a polynomial? Let's consider y equal to x. It's a line equation, right? It means x power is 1. So the graph is going to cut the x-axis at one point. Do you get it? If x power, the leading power of x is 2, the graph is going to cut the x-axis at two different points, or it's going to have a repeated root here. Meaning, let me tell you. One thing is when the power of, okay, there are a couple of important things when we do this. When the power of x is odd, right? Let's say x cube, x power of 1, x power of 5. When you think about it, when it crosses the x-axis, right? Suppose here x cube means x value equal to 0 and the power is odd. In that case, it will cross the x-axis. Whereas if it is even powers means it will take a U-turn at that point on the x-axis. These are very important raw ways of understanding polynomial graphs. When the power of x is odd, it will cross. The power here, right, it's called multiplicity, whatever it is, meaning, see, sometimes you'll write the polynomial like this. Remember, here, there is a 0. This is, let's say this is y. This is y. It means that the graph crosses the x-axis at 2. The graph crosses the x-axis at 3, right? So how will the graph be? The graph cuts the x-axis at x equal to 2, x equal to 3. At x equal to 2, the power of x is 1. There is only one root. There is only 1 0 at x equal to 2. 1 0 means what? Come wherever it is going to cross. At x equal to 3, it's going to go up. It's going to cross. It's not going to take a U-turn at these points. You all got it? Am I making sense? Okay, now let's go ahead and try one. I have a question to you all before I move on. So I just explained multiplicity, right? What is this multiplicity? When the multiplicity, suppose you can have graphs like this as well. X minus 2, the whole square, and then x minus 3. What type of a graph is this, first of all? What type of a graph is this? Is it a linear? Is it quadratic? Or is it cubic? Or is it quartic? Or is it pentic? What type of a graph? Meaning, what is the leading power of x in this polynomial? What is the leading power of x? This is an x square. This is an x. So what is the leading power of x in this polynomial?
X squared.
Make this into a polynomial.
Oh wait, sorry, x
Don't
cubed
go
probably, right?
x cube, because don't go by the factored form. X square times x is there, right? So it will have an x cube term. So that is the leading power of x. And this is a cubic graph. Cubic graph means what? There are 3 times, 3 places the graph is going to cut the x-axis. What are the places? The places are x equal to 2, x equal to 3. Right? Now x equal to 2, x equal to 3 means this is 1 point, x equal to 3 is another point. But how are we going to graph it? We know only these 2 points. And the multiplicity here is 2. I will come to the multiplicity a little later because it's square here. The multiplicity is an even multiplicity. This is odd multiplicity. But before we go into that, right, how will a cubic graph look? Cubic graph is always like this, right? So here I can have an arrow like this. It's going to go up. At this end, it's going to go down. First, I will have to know that. The end behavior is what I need to know first. After that, I know that the graph is going to take a U-turn. This is a U-turn point. This is a crossing point. Why? Because the multiplicity at 3 is 1. The multiplicity at 2 is a even number. So at this point, the graph is going to take a U-turn. Whether it's going to come from up, then it's going to go like this. If it is going to go from down, it's going to go like this. Am I making sense? So here, let's see the end behavior. End behavior says my graph is going to come from down. Now it's going to come like this. Okay. It's going to take a U-turn. It can't go, it can't cross because it's a U-turn point where the multiplicity is 2. Now, again at 3, it has to cross. It's down in the negative side. So it'll cross and go up. See, it matches the end behavior. So first you need to analyze the end behavior and then the zeros of the graph. When you analyze the zeros of the graph, each zero you should know whether it is a U-curve or a crossing point. That depends on the multiplicity. Am I making sense? This is a rough way of graphing. I'll go in detail, okay? I'll go in detail, but there is something more I need to tell you before we move into graphing. Suppose if you have like this, what is the difference? For this one, I already know my graph is something like this, right? For this one, what is this? How is this going to be different? What is the difference? The biggest difference is this. So what is the difference? What is the difference between these two graphs?
This one reflects on the x-axis.
Yeah, that reflects on the x-axis. So what would happen if it reflects on the x-axis? This part will be reflected on the x-axis like this. This part will be reflected on the x-axis like this. So this is your graph. The thing is, whenever you have a negative sign on the leading coefficient, your graph reflects on the x-axis. If it is minus x square, that's why your usual parent graph is reflected. This is your graph for minus x square. This is your graph for x square. So it is a reflection on the x-axis. For x cube, if you have a minus, your original parent graph is this, but the reflected graph is this. Make sense?
Miss Priya,
Yes, ma.
why would it be reflected on the x-axis and not the y-axis?
Why would it be? Okay. Shagvi, you can go, ma. Mom is calling you. She sent detailed message, ma. You can go now. What ma Parvini?
Why would it be reflected on the x-axis?
Why would it be reflected on x-axis? F of x equal to minus x cube. The parent graph is what? F of x equal to x cube, correct? Parent graph is y equal to x cube. Now, y equal to x cube is my parent, correct? Now, if I negate this, right, what value I am negating? Am I negating x or y?
The x.
Ma, there's a difference. There's a difference between the two. In this case, what I am negating? Y or x?
Y.
Y. The y is negated here. Here the x is negated. Whenever, whatever you handle inside the parenthesis is for x. If it is outside the, it's not cubed. Do you see the minus is not cubed? Minus is cubed means it's applied to the x. You got it?
Mm.
So here, the y value is negated. You get it?
Yeah.
Here the x value is negated. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay, now leave this now. Come here. I have a point 1, comma 1. Okay, reflect this point on the x-axis. Reflect this point on the x-axis. What happens to the point?
It's 1 comma negative 1.
1 comma negative 1. So what value gets negated if you reflect on the x-axis?
The y value.
The opposite, you see? When you reflect it on the x-axis, your y value is negated. Y value is negated. It's a reflection on x-axis. You got it?
Yeah.
X value is negated. It's a reflection on y-axis. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now
Thank
let's.
you.
Yeah, you got it now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, let's go ahead and try this one. How about this? Let's try to graph one. Okay, then only we'll know. So I'll review some of the points that we considered. First, we always will go with end behavior. When you're given something, first you'll draw the end behavior. And after that, we look at the zeros of the function. Okay. Then take into account zeros of the function, and then you have to know end behavior will tell you whether it was reflected or not. All that reflection is taken into account here. End behavior will change. Okay, so first you will decide the end behavior. Put arrows like this for the graph. And then you look at zeros of the function. You will take multiplicity into account. So these are things that we went over, but this is not enough. Okay, these are things, raw things that you need to remember in graphing polynomials. Okay, pretty important though. However, this is not enough. This is not the procedure. Step 1, step 2, step 3, I did not write. Okay, but when you get out of this class, all of you should know how to graph polynomial nicely. Can I move on? Okay, now let's go ahead with f of x equal to x times x plus 2 times x minus 3. What type of a graph is this? What type of a graph is this? Guys, what type of a graph is this? Is it cubic, pentic, quartic? Quartic is power 4.
Is it cubic?
Cubic. Why it is cubic? Why it is cubic? Good. Do you see? Multiply all the x's, it becomes a cube. Do you get it? So it's a cubic graph. First of all, it's very clear it's a cubic graph. Does it have any reflection? No. It's an ordinary cubic graph. So now let me put it here. My end behavior, how is it going to be? First, I'll define my end behavior. See, maybe I'm using OUR, guys. You will all use OR, I think, right? Yeah. See, this is the Indian way of spelling. Okay, end behavior is, you all go with IOR. I don't want spelling mistakes for you. Okay. So here, end behavior, how is it going to go? Can one of you tell me how the arrow is going to be? Up, down, how? Here and here, minus infinity and plus infinity. Yeah, go ahead, ma, one of you. For a cubic graph.
As x goes to infinity, y goes to infinity.
Yeah, this goes to infinity. As x goes to minus infinity, y goes to
Minus infinity.
minus infinity. So the graph is going to be like this. We plotted that, okay? Second one is, what are the zeros of the function? Can one of you tell me the zeros of the function from here?
X minus 2, x plus 3.
X equal to 0, x equal to minus 2, x equal to plus 3. So let me plot it, okay? 0, minus 2, and then a 3. Please, if you follow through, it's so easy. Now, third one, I'm going to draw a table with intervals. This is the best way not to make mistakes. Here, you know what you're going to do? I'm going to split it into how many intervals? See, guys, this is the way I split intervals. Minus infinity to the first 0. Okay, minus infinity less than x is less than what? The first 0 is what? Minus 2. Then minus 2 to 0. That's the second 0. Then 0 to 3. And then 3 to infinity. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Now, I'm not going to go to the detail steps as in the book. Okay, you guys are very good with substituting. Okay, I'm going to find the sign of f of x for these intervals. Meaning, you know what I'm going to do? I will choose a value between minus infinity to minus 2. Choose a value between minus infinity to minus 2. Can I take minus 3? I will substitute here minus 3 plus 2 minus 3 minus 3. What happens? It ends up with a positive sign or a negative sign. One of you tell me. Shout out, guys.
Negative sign.
Negative sign, because 3 negatives make 1 positive. So let me erase this. If you're not getting, you have to stop me. Now, minus 2 to 0, what value can I pick? Minus 1 is easy for me. Do you get it? Minus 1 plus 2, minus 1 minus 3. So this is a negative, this is positive, this is negative. So I'll end up with what sign? Am I not clear? I am picking a number in this interval, substituting it into my equation and finding the sign of f of x.
Is it positive?
Positive. I would like somebody else to answer now. Between 0 and 3, what is the sign of f of x? Between 0 and 3, what number can I pick? Can I pick 1? If I substitute 1 here, what happens? 1 times 1 plus 2 times 1 minus 3. What is the sign?
Negative.
Negative. Good job. Now, 3 to infinity, what is the sign? Let me pick up 4. What is the sign?
Positive.
Positive. So, 3 to infinity is positive. I can connect the end behavior. This is done. 0 to 3 is negative. Okay, here 3 to infinity, 3 is a 0. What is its multiplicity? Check. Is 1. So it's going to cross. Okay, now 0 to 3 is this, right? Between 0 to 3, is it in the negative sign? Yeah, it is there. Right? It's negative. Good. And then -2 to 0, it's positive. Again, at 0, is the multiplicity odd? Yes, multiplicity is odd, so it is going to cross. Then at 3 as well, multiplicity is odd. But before we go to 3, I have this interval, right? -2 to 0. It is on the positive side. You see, positive side of the graph. This entire thing is positive side of the graph. Now, what happened? Minus infinity to -2, it's on the negative side of the graph, and 3 has a -2 has a multiplicity of 1. So it can connect with the end behavior. Am I making sense? It's easy provided you understand. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
First end behavior, zeros of the function, multiplicity to be taken into account, draw the table to verify, and connect interval by interval. You'll never make mistakes. Can I go ahead and do one more?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and do one more, and I'll ask you to do one. Make sense? Let's see. I'll do one more. Please listen, and if you're stuck, you have to ask me. Can I erase this? Hey, can I erase this, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. F of x equal to this is a good one for me to do. What type of a graph is this? What type of a graph is this?
Cubic.
Cubic.
Cubic, because x square times x is cubic graph. Sometimes it can be a quartic graph. Okay, now cubic graph, but my biggest problem is there's a negative. So how will the graph look like? Cubic should have been like this. That's the parent graph. But it was reflected on the x-axis. That means this is my graph, right? That means what? How is my end behavior? Dhwani, are you following, ma?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my end behavior. I got it. So end behavior is done. I have drawn my square, the arrows. Second is I have to consider my zeros. What are my zeros? Please tell me now. Zeros are what?
Like 2 zeros and then 4.
Yeah, 2 zeros are there, but what are they, ma?
Isn't it cube like so like one of them is a 0?
Yeah, x equal to 0. Multiplicity is 2. I will write my multiplicity, otherwise I'll forget. Multiplicity is 2. X equal to 4. Multiplicity is the number of times the root appears is 1.
Wait, Miss Priya,
Yeah, go ahead.
but it's a cubic function. How can there be 2 zeros when isn't there supposed to be 3?
Yeah. It's supposed to be 3 zeros, but the x equal to 0 occurs twice. Multiplicity is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3 zeros. Do you get it?
Oh, so you have to add up the multiplicities to.
Exactly. Because this one is a repeated root. X equal to 0. X equal to 0 occurs twice. X equal to 4. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I am going to plot it. Otherwise, I'm going to miss it. 0 and then 4. Okay. Now, I'm going to draw the table. What are the intervals I'm going to consider? Minus infinity to 0. The interval is easy here. I can write it like this or in your inequality notation. And then 0 to 4 and then 4 to infinity. Intervals and signs of f of x. Now, somebody wants to say, why don't you evaluate and just shout out 3 different people? If you do, then I'll be convinced that 3 of you understood. Minus infinity to 0, pick out a value and substitute. You can substitute a -1 in here. Minus 1 the whole square, -1 -4. What happened? Careful, guys, because 1 square is a positive sign.
It's a negative, positive, right?
is positive because minus and minus and positive. Then 0 to 4, you can pick up 1. Please write it down, otherwise you'll make mistakes. So what is this?
Positive, like
Positive. 4 to infinity, I can pick up a 5.
Negative.
Negative, correct. So now let's try. Minus infinity, it starts from here. Minus infinity to 0 is positive. Somewhere it's coming like this, okay? And 0 to 4 is positive. Remember, at 0, the multiplicity is 2. So how should the graph turn at this point? Should make a U-turn, I told you, right? Because of multiplicity even. This is why I took this graph. Multiplicity even, it takes a U-turn. Multiplicity odd, it is said to make a tangent. Tangent or crossover. Multiplicity is even, it takes a U-turn. And then now what happened? 0 to 4, it's in the positive axis, you see? Positive side. Nicely, the graph only is in the positive side. At 3, what happens? I'm sorry, at 4. At 4, 4 to infinity is negative, and the multiplicity as 4 is odd, so it has to cross over. See, can join the end behavior. You got it, guys? Who did not get what? I'm here to listen. Parvini, did you get it?
Kind of.
Kind of. Where you did not get it, ma?
I didn't get the part where like you graph the line on the graph, like the one
Okay.
you did last.
End behavior, you got it?
Yeah.
End behavior is just a reflected cubic graph. So reflected cubic graph goes like this, correct?
Mhm.
Then zeros, x equal to 0, x equal to 4. These 2 points, right? At those 2 points, look at the multiplicity. So this is U-turn. This is a crossover. You got it?
Mhm.
Now, after that, you can start. The graph goes from here. Come to this point. Here it takes a U-turn, right? And at this point, it crosses over and joins the end behavior. So you have to connect the graphs.
Okay.
You cannot exactly point where the graph takes a U-turn. That you don't have to. You see what I mean? Sometimes you don't have to know what is the exact point where it takes a U-turn. But you have to be able to plot the zeros. With their multiplicity, you should be able to say whether it's going to take a U-turn or going to cross over. And end behavior, you need to plot nicely for a polynomial graph. Am I making sense? Arya, am I making sense?
Yeah.
Dhvani, are you here with me?
yeah.
Okay, good. How about this? Okay, now okay, let's try this. X plus 1 the whole square, x minus 1, x minus 2. Here, guys, roughly let's plot the graph. What type of graph is this? Roughly I'm going to plot. You have to tell about local. Okay, go ahead. How many turning points it's going to have? Let's see. Go ahead. Turning points are, go ahead.
Is this like x to the 4?
Good job. X to the 4. Good job. It's a quartic graph. So what is the end behavior?
Wait, Miss Priya,
Yama?
wouldn't this be x to the 5 because x to the power of 1 and then plus 2 because of the power?
X square gets multiplied with x, gets multiplied with x, right?
Yeah, but wouldn't it be didn't you say it would be x to the power of 3 other than or
Sorry, no, I didn't get you. What was that?
I think previously you said that like something similar to this would be x to the power of 3.
Here. This is x power of 3.
But never mind, I must be misremembering or something. All right, sorry.
No problem at all. No. Let's clarify what you wanted.
No, I just think I might have misremembered something about what you said. Something where
Okay.
like this would be
Okay.
x to the power of 3 rather than x to the power of 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, let's go ahead with that. Now x square times x, right? So it's going to end up with 2, 3, 4. Quartic graph. Okay, quartic graph, the end behavior is like this. Right? Now the zeros are -1. This is a U-turn. And then x equal to 1 and 2. These are crossover. Right? Now, how can the graph be? See, let's try. This is going
Miss
to take
Priya,
Yama.
could you just once again tell what's a crossover again?
Crossover means it's going to cross from positive to negative or negative to positive. See, it's directly crossing over from positive to the negative end, negative to the positive end.
Oh, okay, I see.
U-turn means it has to go from positive to positive or negative to negative.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So see now, the thing about this is, you see the graph has a minimum here, has a minimum here, correct? Do you all see two minimums here? Let me invite the geometry kids, but then I'm going to continue this class. Okay, so there are two minimums here. Guys, these are all important properties of polynomial graphs. There are two minimums here, right? Of the two minimums, which is the global minimum? Global minimum is the most minimum of the minimums, which is the global minimum or absolute minimum. You can see, of the two, this is the minimum of the minimum, right? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So this is called the absolute or global minimum. You need to know these properties. What is this called? This is also a minimum, but it is not the minimum of the minimum, right? This is called a local minimum. Make sense? Does it make sense? And what is this? This is one of the maximum points, right? The maximum is infinity only, but this is also a maximum. This is called a local maximum. You got it? Suppose if my graph is like this. Tomorrow, if you draw a graph something like this, how many local minimums does it have? How many local minimums does it have? This sort of a graph.
1.
Yeah, 1. Local. It's not global is minus infinity, because see, both the ways it goes to minus. That's the minimum of the minimum. But then it does have a local minimum 1. And how many maximums does it have? Maximums will include all local and global. Let
2.
me read the graph. Yeah, 2. Okay, it has 2. And point A or B is the global maximum. Point A or B is the global maximum.
B.
B is the global maximum. A is a local maximum. Am I clear? We learned a lot today actually with respect to the properties of the cubic graph. Cubic or polynomial graph. And what type of a graph is this? Who can tell me? What type of a graph? From the graph itself, you can tell. What type of a graph is this? Remember the end behavior.
Quartic.
Good job. It's a quartic. Yeah. So basically, let's say this is 0 of a function. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 zeros, right? It's a quartic graph. Good job. It's a crossover here, crossover here, crossover here, crossover here. So the multiplicity is all 1. So making it a quartic graph. Suppose if I have like this, guys, let's see. Let's see 1 minute. What type of a graph is this? This is the x-axis.
Cube.
Yeah, here the 0 has a multiplicity of 2. This is a U-turn. So multiplicity is 2, multiplicity is 1. This is a 0, this is a 0. Looks like it has only 2 zeros. But because of the multiplicity, it's a cubic graph. See, and the end behavior, see, tells you as well. So the end behavior is so important in a polynomial graph. End behavior, multiplicity, zeros define the graphing for a polynomial. Make
Miss
sense?
Priya,
Yeah, ma.
how were you able to tell that like that one has the multiplicity of 2?
Because it's a U-turn here. At the x-axis, it takes a U-turn. If it crosses over, one thing, guys, if it crosses over, it can be multiplicity of 1 or 3 or even 5. You get it? Because crossovers mean it's odd multiplicity. That's all. Okay. So since we don't cover two big graphs, we can call this as 1. That's it. Meaning it
Wait, for
can be.
U-turns?
What is it?
For U-turns, could M or the
Oh,
multiplicity
yeah, m
also
can
be
be 2
like
or
4?
4 or 6, yes. But
Okay.
we don't go that far, right? We don't cover x power of 6 or x power of 7, right? But it can be, meaning when you guess right, we should not limit ourselves to just a cubic. It can be cubic, or it can be, this can be 3, this can be 4. You get it? So it can be odd, even, that's all. When it takes a U-turn, the multiplicity is even. When it crosses over, the multiplicity is odd. That's all. Okay, but considering the minimum multiplicity, we are assuming that it's a cubic graph. Make sense? Yeah. Shall I stop here? I hope you all learned something new today. Okay, guys. But yeah, they'll continue with graphing. Next week, what I'll do, I'll with word problems, and then I'll move on to module 8.
Bye, Miss Priya.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Miss Priya.
Bye.
Bye, Miss Priya.
Chetan, looks like for some reason I have not